What's going on? We have another trade as Sean Murphy is now officially headed to the Atlanta Braves in a 3-team deal with the Oakland Athletics and the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's break it down. This is Smarter Baseball, where we deep dive into everything going on throughout Major League Baseball. If you enjoy the content and want to support the channel, like the video, subscribe to the page, and turn on notifications. So we have a good old-fashioned 3-team trade, with Atlanta getting the main piece in this deal, catcher Sean Murphy. Meanwhile, Oakland is getting left-hander Kyle Muller, utility man Yusturi Ruiz, right-handers Freddie Tarnok, Royber Salinas, and catcher Manny Pena, while Milwaukee is getting catcher William Contreras, right-handers Justin Yeager, and Joel Payamps. So let's start with the centerpiece of this deal. Atlanta's getting 28-year-old catcher Sean Murphy, who throughout his career, 330 games, has a .236, .326, .429 slash line for a .755 OPS, 46 home runs. He has a 23.1% strikeout rate, which is right around average, 10% walk rate, which is noticeably above, to go along with a .193 ISO, which is also pretty above average, showing a 116 WRC plus, and he's built up 10.6 FWAR over his career. But this year in 2022, 148 games, Murphy held a slash line of .250, .332, .426 for a .759 OPS with 18 home runs, dropped his strikeout percentage down to 20.3, but his walk rate also dropped down a little bit to 9.2, along with his ISO down to .177, but had a 122 WRC plus and had 5.1 FWAR this season. That puts him about in the tier of all-star level performance at the catcher position. So along with what he brings offensively, defensively, last season Murphy was a Gold Glover in 2021, and according to Fangraphs this year, out of 40 catchers with 500 plus innings, his one defensive run saved had him ranked 20th, but his 8.7 framing had him 5th, and his 18.3 total defensive rating was 3rd in the league. So the dude still is gloving it back there. So Atlanta's gonna get a catcher who he'll take his walks, and he's gonna come with some power. We see that in the ISO, the barrel percentage, hard hit. He's gonna hit a lot of fly balls, but he's gonna turn a lot of those fly balls into home runs. So while the average might not ever be anything ridiculously high, he could put together a pretty decent season like this, hitting around .250, and still hit quite a few home runs out of that catcher position, to go along with that Gold Glove defense, where we also see him 96th percentile in pop time and 86th percentile in framing, according to Baseball Savant. So now what is Oakland getting out of this deal? The 3 pitchers that they're getting: Muller, who is Atlanta's number 2 prospect according to Fangraphs, Tarnok, who's the number 9, and Salinas, who's the number 17, all fit roughly the same mold throughout the minors so far, of being pretty high strikeout, but high walk guys as well. And they limit their home runs despite the fact that they're primarily giving up fly balls so far. So it's kind of been a mixed bag. Now, Muller and Tarnok have both hit the major leagues. Muller's 25 and Tarnok is 24, but Salinas is only 22. The 24-year-old Ruiz has also debuted this year, and he's had a pretty good slash line throughout the minors of .285, .363, .457 for an .821 OPS with 53 home runs in 521 games. Where he's maybe lacking a little bit more is his walks, strikeouts, and the ratio aren't all that impressive. It's all roughly right around average, which then, as you expect, once he gets into the major leagues, he's going to struggle with that more. So we're probably looking at a guy that he's got a pretty good swing, but his approach might not fully be there yet. And when it comes to Pena, 36 years old, catcher, I mean, he's just kind of being thrown in here just to fill a spot on that major league roster that their Oakland A's are losing now with Murphy being gone. And now let's take a look at the players that Milwaukee's getting out of this deal. The 25-year-old Contreras has had 153 games so far in the majors with a 260, 338, 471 slash line for an 809 OPS. Now, he's striking out quite a bit at 28.4%, but he's also walking quite a bit at 10.2%. So you're kind of getting that trade-off of, yes, he's going to take his walks and get on base, and the dude can hit. A 4.9 home run percentage is 2% higher than the league average this year. But you're going to kind of trade off some strikeouts, and he's not super solid defensively along with that. Yeager is a 25-year-old pitcher who throughout the minors, again, kind of fits this almost even more to a T. Really high strikeout rate of 13.6 Ks per 9, but 5 walks per 9 is insanely high as well. His homers per 9 are right about at average, and again, he's given up more fly balls throughout the minor leagues, so he's gonna kind of have to see how that plays out. 25 is pretty old for a minor leaguer. And then Payamps is a 29-year-old reliever, 82 games in the majors, 113 innings pitched. Not really much of a strikeout guy, but limits the walks just a little bit, keeps the ball relatively in the ballpark, and that's led him to a 129 ERA plus, but a 4.19 fielding independent pitching. So he can give you results, but he's gonna have to rely a little bit more on the defense behind him. So what is each team really getting out of this deal? Again, Atlanta is getting the main major league piece. Murphy is a fly ball power bat out of that catcher position. He's gonna get his walks, but he doesn't really or hasn't shown that he's got that real contact tool, and he's gonna strike out a little bit. He's also a Gold Glover, so at catcher, you kind of take what you can get offensively, especially when a dude is a Gold Glove catcher back there. Now, Oakland is getting a handful of these younger, probably a little bit higher upside arms. They've got this stuff, they're getting those strikeouts and limiting the amount of damage that's getting done throughout the minors, but the high walk rate shows that they still don't quite have that much command yet, and you're gonna have to see whether that stuff is really good enough to get away with some mistakes at the major league level where you're facing much better competition. Those mistakes that don't get taken out of the yard in AA probably will in the major leagues. Along with that, they also get Ruiz, who again is a good bat with an okay approach. We'll see if he can manage that enough to really utilize that bat at the major league level. And finally, Milwaukee's getting just a power bat at the catcher position in Contreras, who again is gonna get his walks, but he's also gonna strike out quite a bit, and he's not bringing a whole lot to the table defensively. Yeager is again one of these younger arms that he's got that upside, that high strikeout stuff, but showing he can't really command it yet. And once you get to the major league level, those extra base runners and those mistakes are probably going to come back to bite you. Along with this, they also get a pretty solid reliever, but one that you're going to have to put a good defense behind rather than just let him go out there and, all right, shut it down for us. So now comment down below, who do you think won this trade? How do you see this playing out for every team? Do you think somebody got fleeced? Comment all of this down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to support the channel or you're just a fan of baseball, like the video, subscribe to the page, and turn on notifications so that not only can you help the channel grow, but you won't miss out on any future content where we're gonna deep dive into everything going on throughout Major League Baseball. Once again, I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much to everybody that has supported the channel up to this point. We're closing in on 500 subscribers, and I know that doesn't seem like a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, but I was surprised when I got to 100. So just everything that you guys have done so far to help support this channel, I seriously greatly appreciate it. And I want to keep building this for you guys so that we can get even better, higher quality content, whatever can come out of my stupid mouth to help you get through this off season, enjoy baseball, break it down even more. I'm just rambling at this point. Have an awesome day. Thank you again for supporting. I'll see you in the next one.